We are back live. What could be our last map of the B stream here from the CORSAIR Dallas DreamHack Masters Tournament. I'm Vince. I'm joined by Dust2, who's an absolute mess, and we're heading to Dust2. Who would have guessed it?
Why have you done that?
Who would have done it? And we're actually live in the pistol round. I thought we were going to be waiting a little bit longer, but no, we're in it. So Jax and Kenny S.
Just bashing their skulls in, man. Just absolutely giving it to them.
Like, this is how we want this map to be. We're going to put our intent on the table. We are going to make you deal with these USPs. JKS is going to come back with a kill of his own, but it's only him and Azza that remain.
I was already about to mention how it's going to be an uphill battle for Renegades on Dust2, and I'll talk about why in a second, but certainly it gets added on to when your pistol round goes like this. Just Azza and JKS left, trying to stream out Catwalk, and nope, you're getting absolutely clotheslined. And so, just to kind of add some context to what I meant by that, Renegades have lost 4 of their last 5 Dust2 games offline. It is not a map they're very well known for. Meanwhile, G2, amazing record on this map. Granted, not many of those games have been with Amanek, but still the core of this team, fantastic at Dust2.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubting it. It's why when we saw Dust2 come up, like, obviously we've casted it so much, but we also winced because it was like, oh, Renegades, really? You've let this through against G2. This is one of the only maps, like, even when G2 were going through their rough patches where they were getting wrecked on like every single map possible, this is always a map that they would often win or take really good teams to their limits on.
So a bunching up of Renegades here with this scout and upgraded pistols. Trying to see if they can't make their way up this catwalk, but they're dealing with Kenny S up close. He's only good for 1 with that SMG though, so it opens up that A-bomb site.
Shocks in for more, has been dinked. Back to the wall. Box is not going to save him. Also, they killed the player out on long too, so this is quickly getting into a very dangerous position. Amanek's not able to get the kill onto Azza, who comes back out with the scout, and Lucky goes down as well. The perfect start for Renegades, knocking down the economy. Gonna be able to take an AUG away and cross it to themselves. Wow, G2 just got wrecked.
That's an Omega yikes, Vince.
On the hierarchy of yikes, how high is that? Is that the top one?
I think Omega yikes would be probably the 10. There's Mega yikes. That would be below Omega yikes, I think.
And then like standard.
Yeah, it's like a 5 out of 10, right? It's the average.
Yeah, I go alongside that. That is certainly an awkward moment. G2 going to be forcing back up or across the board. Not everybody has put all their money in. Obviously, Kenny S wants to save for his AWP as well. Bomb. Dropped right next to Liaz, who is going to be able to thread the bullet through long doors into the head of Jack. Also, retrieves the bomb, picks it up. There's going to be confrontation on short. What a shot by Lucky, though. With Kenny S. Molotov behind him. And bullets ahead of him. Shocks in the meanwhile, though, does go in. Eviscerating Azza. Amanek from the side, going to catch him with it. Nade out, but can't get the kill. And that was such a huge moment in this round. It would have been a 3-on-2 in favor of G2. They're still going to get JKS, but they're both coming from the same side. They may not anticipate this, though, but also smoke in the eyes of Shocks. A player with so much to offer. So much ability. But another smoke has got a catwalk. He's going to push through this into Gratisfaction's AUG. There were chances, there were moments, but that's missed spray from Amanek, man. That was so vitally important.
Yeah, you feel like if he gets that kill, man, that he's able to maybe unlock that round for G2. It doesn't happen. Also, a score update. Liquid did 2-1 phase in the upper bracket, so they move on to the semifinals directly out of Group A. It's versus Furia will be coming up next on the main stream to see who else will be getting a direct semifinal spot. But here we're deciding who's making the quarterfinals, and loser goes home, so a lot bigger stakes on the line, I think.
I think after that first map, it will be edging towards G2. Or the Renegades off to a cracking start on their T side. Heavy stack. G2 all on A. I quite like this call because I feel like if you were thinking of a stack, B is definitely up there as well. And because so many teams
options, Vince.
No, but I mean you could stack mid, you could stack catwalk.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But why I think B is because there's so many close angles that if you run into B, even against USPs and there's a crossfire, you can get absolutely
smashed. Hi there, as it says, as he sees.
You can see that silencer. Yep. Jax is like, nah, definitely didn't see me. Definitely not here. Still hasn't seen me. Still hasn't seen me. Oh yes, I'm dead. Azza with a 4K, nicely done. Spinning around, landing headshots.
Little stat pattern. Could have been a dicey situation, to be fair. He picked out the battles nicely. But here we go. G2 should be back onto the bye. Very curious to see where they're going to go. KennyS, of course, had AWP. Usually going to be leaning towards that A side, as most operators would. Shox and Jax usually playing A together with him, while Lucky and Amanek typically going to play B. And that's exactly how this is going to unfold. Though Shox is choosing to engage middle, actually, pretty active. He's already into lower tunnels, and no one's seen this, Vince. As it did not pick up on it, the timing wasn't there. Shox could flank this B attack so devastatingly. What is this stack from Gratisfaction? It's a triple stack. I've never seen this. Whoa.
Over the smoke. Really cool.
I wish something would have come from it. That would have made it even cooler, but...
Yeah, but they could still stack and see the right-hand side of the boxes. Just so happens that Amonek's on the left-hand side.
They know Amonek's there. They see his little cap. They're like, we're going to kill this guy. Surely. There's everything leveraged at him. Finally, they do.
They do get him. There's a smoke down there, but now Shox, it's his turn to show his hand. The player that was hidden, Azza could have him on the cross, does do just that. KennyS now, though, with an AWP by his side. So very dangerous on Dust2. Even though Renegades do have the player advantage, they cannot take this for granted. They're going to be backing away together onto the T-spawn side, and more than likely pressing on A long. There is also Jax going up mid. He's not been spotted. He's getting there slowly but surely. Now his hand is shown. The timing could not have been worse. He has, however, seen multiple players. I think they realize it to be an A hit, pardon me. But they're not actually rotating to deal with this. They're a little bit slow. KennyS is going to be watching the cross with his AWP, but of course there's going to be smoke still in play for Renegades. They're just going to toss that across. Question now is, can KennyS get the fortunate shot through the smoke? And the answer is a no. So they're going to save, and Renegades will have a plant and have the round.
Renegades off to a roaring start here on the T side. Vince again talked about how they came into this map as a severe underdog, given G2's track record on Dust2, and given the fact that Renegades again lost 4 of their last 5 games they've played offline. Grant, some of that, of course, was with Smooya as a stand-in. But nonetheless, with G2 having a 1 map advantage and coming onto home turf on Dust2, we expected it to be a tough one for Renegades, but so far they've been up to the task. I've only really seen 1 full buy out of G2 so far, though, so still not really sure how things are going to play out. I do want to see if that boost comes into effect again later, though, man. That's really cool. I don't know. Again, I've never seen it before. Have you?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
Okay. Must be pretty uncommon, though.
Not super uncommon. I think for I think for Renegades, it's not necessarily a stack that I've seen them use too many times, but I feel like I've seen maybe MIBR do that stack before in the past.
Okay.
Quite a while ago. It's still cool though, and nearly caught G2 off guard as well. And you've got to be wondering, did they actually? They didn't see that personally, so it could be something that Renegades go for again in a few rounds' time.
There's not many triple stacks out there. I mean, I know there's like the famous one on Overpass T-spawn to heaven, but there's not that many out there. It's because you have to commit so many resources to it. That's why you don't see those very often.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Exactly. You go for a triple boost, it means that you're lacking that presence, and that's where G2 can make the most of it. But Shox only just the 1 kill, I think, from tunnels, right? He didn't manage to get any more than that. So Molotov into the short side. Lucky is going to be backing off. Not necessarily what G2 are hoping for. After taking the map of Renegades on Inferno pretty convincingly, they're already up against it here. Already struggling, gasping for air. Kenny S is smoked out, coming around the corner. Can't save his teammate, but at least does take down a player.
Oh, no.
Oh, JKS spots Amanek trying to hide in the smoke, trying to buy up enough time for his teammates to get close. Kenny S can't get here. Also burning from behind.
They want to go for this. They have 3 rifles. They do have a kit. They have a Molotov. Couple of flashbangs. They might be tempted to try. But no, never mind. Shox backs off of B tunnels, but I thought he would just retreat, but no, they're actually going for it. They just want to all come window and door, I guess.
Oh, this could either potentially get them back into this. Gratisfaction's going to burn alive. He's only on 1 HP. Maybe assuming the Molotov hadn't actually landed on him. A flash out. Now, this is why B is so hard to take. Even if you do cover one of the angles, there's still so many positions you could be sat in from a terrorist.
I think the biggest problem is that flashbang had 0 effect. I don't think it flew into the site deep enough, so no one was impacted. It allowed them just to keep holding their crosshairs on the common angles and find the kills. Nice little try there for G2 on the retake, just not quite. Renegades, you feel like if Amanek would have been able to get something with that CZ, then maybe that could have happened, but got caught by JKS. Good awareness. Double op is in play. Amanek is indeed the second opper for this team on this map, as Shox likes to play A more, so it makes more sense for Amanek to use it. Jax almost got wrecked, but did manage to make his way towards the pit. And Renegades were forced to back off due to an incendiary. Now that smoke will further delay any attempts of Renegades to go into long.
Jacob is perched up on another boost. Renegades have him on top of the box of long.
Very deadly one, but hardly ever effective just because CTs hardly ever push into it.
Yeah. Especially by the time a terrorist would get there, it's a very, I don't want to say ineffective boost, because if someone does push in, it's very hard to kill them. But yeah, as you say, it's just not really seeing action that often. JKS going to get the entry. Jax, his adversary, has been repelled. Kenny S did just see ahead, I think, as he jumped up. But now Liaz going to task with the AK-47. It seems like whenever G2 get comfortable, someone dies. And it really ripples around the rest of the team. They have to quickly try to get into position. A long has been taken and now moving on to A itself. Flash is used in counter. Kenny S with his AWP, only able to get the 1 kill. With his death, the round could follow. Jacob on the car, it's labored, but he gets it done. And Amanek only has an AWP. He's stuck on elevator. The bomb is going to be planted. And if he is going to clutch this, you'd have to feel like it's going to be more mistakes from Renegades than his individual impact. And he realizes his chances are so slim. He's been spotted as well. The chance of saving his AWP is very, very low. Adds the shot in credit to him. Knocks JKS down to just a measly 1 HP. Flicks across the Gratisfaction. He's going to make this cost quite a bit. But he's a dead man. Jacob gets it.
Just feels like some of G2 city sets are so reliant on individuals making big plays. Like right there, they had so much faith in Jax to hold long A alone. He had no support from anywhere. And so once he goes down, half of A is already folded. Kenny S tries to rotate over with AWP from the platform and still pose a formidable defense, but only good for 1 frag. So Renegades are just really exploiting some of the, I guess, spread thin defense of G2, so to speak. It's not been the start that G2 were looking for. They're looking to really feel comfortable for a 2-0, but Renegades has given them a lot of hell here on their T side. Good opening pick, though, from Kenny S. Might be the catalyst they need to still pull this off, despite the fact they have such limited resources.
And yes, did jump up. That would have been noise. And Jacob would have heard spraying up through the double doors of B. Not going to open the gates just yet. Amanek deciding I have to go aggressive to try and buy up some time, to try and buy up some room for the rest of my team to execute off. AK-47, but again, it goes back to that age-old question. Do you have kits? Do you have enough nades? Do you have armor? The answer is no to all three of those questions.
Also,
it's only
Kenny S had
S.
never rotated. He was like still way over at long A, so he wasn't even in position to try to go for a retake here. So yeah, just saving these 3 guns, solid choice. Kenny S also even has armor carried over, so this is a pretty good little outcome given that they didn't have much to work with.
Oh yeah, they definitely would have taken this. They've taken the AWP out the round. They've got a couple of kills additionally, and they get to save 2 AK-47s, which is great news for CTs. Downside, of course, is they're 7-1 behind. As giving some love in the corner.
Yeah, I don't know if we saw that on stream, but he was definitely having a good time. 7-1, Vince, the escapable scoreline of memes dreams.
I wonder if we'll see a timeout called soon if G2 concede this round. Not let this get too far out of control.
It's starting to get about that time for sure. This time Jax has some support getting him into the pit. Gratisfaction flashed off, who was trying to go for that early peek. NES still with AWP just kind of trolling back and forth on the cat cross and such. Shocks boosted in CT spawn, so he could definitely be a problem if there is some type of mid-B play imposed.
Kenny trying to maneuver around the perimeter of A, looking for a different angle. They are stacked up on catwalk. He has the right idea, just a bit too early. See, the nade does land, but only chips away 2 HP. Molotov thrown as a retort. Shots. Praying that he sees a head just bobbing over the wall so we can take it clean off. Now smoke down. Does dink Azza. But there in a nutshell, it's the difference between the M4 and the AK. Azza gets the kill. Shocks doesn't. Kenny S forced to back away. Waiting for his teammates on mid to make a move in. Amanek, unlucky. We're getting to that point as well where G2 need to start going for these retakes. They're running out of time and rounds to save over and over and over again. Amanek with an even trade. Lucky coming up, Molotoving out onto JKS. Jax is going to land one, but Renegades cleaning up again. G2 are looking lost at sea on Dust2.
Yeah, their retake is just so sloppy. Shocks is just peeking by himself from elevator. Kenny S was already hightailing to get out of there towards long A to reinforce Jax on the door. So Shocks is literally just by himself trying to take duels against people crossing catwalk. You need Kenny S there with you with the AWP, taking duels together. Force the T's to divert their attention multiple directions rather than just be able to focus everything on you. And that was the first problem. The second problem is just, you know, as they were trying to come up cat again, it's just one guy. They just weren't playing together at all. I don't know where the team play has gone that we saw on their T-side Inferno, but they are looking real sloppy right now. Double AWP now for Amanek and Kenny S. Trying to hope that that's going to bail them out, but Renegades has been really impressive so far on this T-side. Jacob and Az are the 2 entry fraggers, definitely getting the numbers you want. JKS also, again, continuing to perform well throughout this tournament. One of the highest rated players in the event thus far. Exactly what you want to be seeing from JKS.
Having quite the beast performance. It was Dust2 where Jacob had performances earlier in the tournament as well. Double flashes through mid. Speaking of Jacob, he is the man to press forward first, take point for his team. No flashes, already going in dry to start off with. Now the smokes and the Molotov's going to be deployed. Now their attention can be focused on B. Amanek, aggressive. Drops JKS. Needs to turn his attention back onto the site again where Lucky is. What a flick by Amanek onto the site. Lucky's going to cull the rest of them with his MP9. Bomb gets dropped and okay, G2. Hello, welcome back. It's been a little while.
That was just so well done from Amanek, man. It was so smart of him just to make sure that he controlled one angle of that attack, holding B tunnels. That means that once you get that kill, you've cleared that. Now you can help Lucky just focus on window and door. You can maybe buy time for your rotation through spawn. It was definitely a great effort from the newcomer to the team. proving his worth. And now we are going to see Renegades slow it down a little bit, just get into a default. JKS and Liaz on the edges of the map, as you'd expect. Jacob, again, working with Azza to engage middle and catwalk, just trying to establish that initial map control. And that Molotov to clear the up-close doors, just making sure that there's nothing tricky going on here. Similar setup from G2, just they had that same exact little cat trap they had set up last round because it wasn't spotted, so they have Shox and Kenny S both facing cat. This is going to be tough for Renegades to break through.
Tough, but not impossible. Unless Shox can hold the line. Kenny S, it was awkward, wasn't it? It was almost like he didn't know what he wanted to do.
Exactly. That's the indecision certainly haunted him there. I think he wanted to stick around because what that's planned for is for Shox to get the kill, and then he gets to hang around for another because they're still fearing Shox up close. So that's the goal, but he needed to get out of there. Jax gets one at long at the very least, but it's traded back by Liaz, so it's still back to even numbers, which favors Renegades.
Free kill for Shox. Liaz had a nade out. Felt compelled to try and burst out with a flashbang. If he goes around the corner, he's going to find the bomb. He's just found the bomb now. The realization's there. Now comes Amanek to help him out, to bolster up this defense. 17 seconds left. There's not enough time for Renegades. They're not going to be able to frag out. They're not going to be able to get the bomb either. And Lucky has found Jacob in the back. So G2 are going to do something they've been unable to do so far on their choice of map, and that's put 2 rounds back to back together. Shox onto JKS. They're going to save 2 of their orbs and keep their money ticking forward.
They can keep this up, they'll still be fine. I mean, this is a map where Ts are very much favored to be able to put up those 7 to 9 rounds. So if they can get to 7 themselves on CT, they'd still be all right, especially if they can win pistol second half. So certainly don't count them out just yet. But Renegades still have so much money left to get a full buy in this round. Plenty of utility. Gradpack is still at the AWP as well. They'll have to save after this, though, Vince, if they take a loss here. And that's where G2 can really close that gap on the scoreboard. But they need to win this one first.
They're going for that boost again. Are we finally going to see it in action? Is Jax going to Molotov and push? No. Molotov and backs away. You can hear the burning, the flash. A lot of damage to Liaz. Enough to get the outright kill. Molly onto Car. Gonna just double check this Gratisfaction. Flashbang there. And able to discern whether a player did scamper away or not. Lucky just runs into mid. He wasn't even playing it stealthily. And with that push, they're probably going to anticipate that Amanek could be making a play like this. And JKS is. He's a step ahead. His spidey senses are tingling. And G2 again shoot themselves in the foot with a double-barreled shotgun. Just destroy themselves. This is proper self-destruction we're witnessing.
It's happened so many times on their CT sides, man. They've either over-rotated or just bought hook, line, and sinker. Any little bait that Renegades has put out there, any little pressure causes massive ripple effects in the rotations of G2, much more so than a need be. I also just hate that they just keep leaving Lucky stranded out at long A so often, man. Like, if he's going to play long A solo, I mean, at least play pit, and once you hear something, you can kind of maybe get Kenny S to come back and you can kind of work together. But the fact that Jaxie's playing up close on long A doors, and there's just nothing there to trade with if he goes down, it's just giving so much real estate to Renegades for free. They're going to have such an easier time pushing past these choke points.
Maybe this is where we do see a tactical timeout and they can make these amendments. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's all fine. Credit where credit's due, though, man. Renegades has just been tearing it up this half. They obviously had a big streak of winning 8 rounds in a row after G2 won pistol. They lost a couple, but now they're right back in the driver's seat of this half. Again, continuing to see great performances from the majority of the star players here from Renegades. I suppose Gratisfaction's been a bit quiet on a map that can be very op dominant, but he hasn't really been required, if we're honest.
So no timeout. And they're content to just keep going. This time though, Jax could have some backup in the form of Kenny S. Jax has taken damage alongside.
But here it goes, man. Now it's the exact same story. KNS just playing long A from Goose. Jack's sucked hit by himself. Lucky and Amanek doing the same thing at Bionic, playing up close on B-Tunnels with the AWP. So it's no real adjustment from G2. But the difference is it's going to be a cat focus. And Shox and KNS might be able to run that bait and switch play again. That was very effective a couple of rounds ago. Shox, though, forced off by the fire. That smoke tells everything to Renegades about what setup they were up against, but they know they forced them off now. Oh, KNS going to get caught with the nade. No, able to get away.
It's a similar position to where he got caught a couple rounds ago, though, through indecision, costing his life.
Even Jax came off long A, though. That's like 3 CTs are literally on the A-bomb side itself right now, and Amanek is watching middle, so this is actually a pretty good defense here for G2, but Jax is trying to do something a little bit tricky. Gets away with it for now, but that's it.
They do have the big guns on A still. KNS with an open shot to the M4. A dangerous duo, a Frenchman. Being Molotov out of position. KNS gonna hold on. 2 kills go his way. Bomb drops behind Jacob. She has to go back to retrieve it. Still enough time to get the plant. But he will have to fend off Lucky and Amanek. Amanek is moving up through long.
Lucky?
Lucky
Hello?
didn't see him. He's looking towards Catwalk. He's seeing if he's gone back to Catwalk side. Sees the shadow. Converts into the kill. And will be able to pick up the second AWP. So G2 will at least get their 4th round. Renegades are playing some really solid Counter-Strike, though.
Yeah, they absolutely are, but that's crazy. I would have thought he would have seen his head. It's not even like a 4x3 stretch scenario because the black bars are on the sides of your screen. Man, 2 is above you. Didn't happen to spot his head, but still found it out anyway, nonetheless. So G2 finally get another one. They've won 3 of the last 4, so they're starting to get some footing here. Problem is, they're never going to get an easy round because Renegades just still have so much money left over.
Jax. Orc.
Why? Why are you challenging that by yourself? Just leave. Fall back to long. Crossing. I just don't understand it.
May have felt with the flashbangs like he had to go out swinging, but we have seen similar things happen over and over again now, and G2 aren't adapting. They're not evolving. The aggression does cost them a second player, but Lucky's aggression this time is going to pay out dividends. And with Amanek with an AWP, but KNS with a nice reaction shot on long. Onto Gratisfaction, who's trying to bring the bomb to the A site. It's going to leave Jacob on 6 HP. No longer. G2, after a horrendous start, an 8-1 deficit have brought us back to 9-5.
So they've really recovered after that 8-round losing streak. 4 of the last 5 rounds gone their way, and finally they do have Renegades in a situation where they have limited resources. It happens right at the very end of the half. A couple of players just on Deagles. Asa literally has nothing. He has a Glock. Just the 2 AKs of Gratisfaction. Jacob, they're trying to do the bulk of the work. They're going to try to go for something fast-paced at B, it looks like, with the utility of G2 is slowing them down a bit, but they're still trying to creep out. You can see the intention.
Oh, Lucky through the smoke has got 2 kills. Gonna be a 3rd in the bomb. Shox for the M4. Locks it down, and Lucky finishes in style. 13-8. Overall will be 9-6. Renegades do get brought back. 5 of the last 6 rounds went the way of G2. We're going to find out if they can come back fully and take this best of 3 after this short break. Don't go anywhere, guys. All right, we're back earlier than anticipated. They didn't actually pause the game as they should have, so apologies for that, guys, if you did go get the drink or whatever. But welcome back. We are live into it, Dust. I know many of you would prefer there weren't breaks, but that is life, isn't it?
That's how the lights
No
stay
one's
on.
died.
How the bills get paid. Have to have the commercial breaks, but we gave you one for free this time. Pistol round so important for G2. This could get them right back into the mix if they could pull this one off, but Renegades could look to double their lead if they could get the 3-0 start. Again, they're the ones who are up against the ropes. They lose this map, they're out the tournament. G2 moves on to the playoffs tomorrow.
Yeah, ton on the line. 35 seconds. G2 gonna try and pick up the second pistol round. Solid work by Jacob and JKS. Jacob flicking across to the second head. It's gonna be Shox. 4 of the 5 players are here. And although Lucky tried the flank, it's far too late. There's nothing to really flank at this stage. His entire team lays waste on the site. And at this range, the USPs will always shine over the Glocks. It's too easy for the boys. 10-6. Renegades take the second pistol round comfortably.
Indeed they do. Shutting down that B push big time. G2 got nothing out of that. Not a single frag went their way. And so now they will just go ahead and take the full save. Blocks aplenty. Should be Renegades finding number 11. Shock's late there, grabs a P250, but still not much of a threat going to be posed by the Frenchmen into this one as they just rush up middle into Catwalk and just going to try to lay into that A-bomb site with the bomb and hope that they can get a plant. Going to be so hard, though, when you got Azza and Gratisfaction waiting for this cross with really great weapons.
Oh, if that had have landed from Gratisfaction, that would have been nuts. Nearly flicked to the head of Lucky, who was in midair. Azza with a UMP. And for the second consecutive round, it is going to be flawless. No casualties on Renegades. G2 now will have AKs, though.
Yeah, and again, look out for Shocks and Jacks to be that entry pairing. Amanek usually lurking the B tunnels. Lucky usually soloing out long A. The big thing is, though, they don't default that much. They really love to engage mid-B fast. They love their B tunnels rushes. They love to, obviously, do spawn-based long A plays like this one. So they're going to be very explosive, very much in Renegade's face. A good entry, but Liaz responds brilliantly.
You do have the advantage, however. Jacob able to put one player down in the form of Jax. Before Lucky can get his triple, he's got 3 kills and 1 HP. Gratisfaction may go looking. Try and finish off the wounded. He can sense there's weakness, he can sense there's some prey, but even then, Lucky dinks him down to 46. At least I think it was the dink, I'm not entirely sure. It sounded like it.
Look at this, though. Amanek's going to waltz into V and find it open. He'll be able to put a smoke down on door and just kind of hold the window and buy time for Kenny S. The only thing Kenny S has to worry about is if there's some type of lower B's push through middle that Amanek's not aware of. Kenny S will use a smoke to be able to safely get away. So this is well done. Amanek even gets on the scaffolding. No way Renegades would expect him to be in this position. He's probably going to get a free kill because of it. JKS is certainly not going to be aware of this, and that might just be the round.
You'd think that Gratisfaction probably pulls the plug. If they save this gun, they can get a buy in the next round. It's Jacob that's a little bit low on $1,800. We shall see. Looks like he's pitching more up for exit frags and actually going for the site. So yeah, he's going to save. He's also got a decent, healthy amount of utility, a kit. A lot to save here. And there'll be a big round in the next one for Renegades if they can hold on to it, which they should.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that explosive play from G2, man. They are going to get in your face if they have good spawns. Even if not, always got to watch out for B tunnels and mid-B presence. Renegades need to be wary of that fast-paced style is the point. And it was just good on G2. They stayed a man ahead the entire time in all those exchanges at long gate. It also just helped that Amanek had a great timing push into B, knowing that Renegades was going to have to eventually start rotating off with all of the fire going on at long. Picked the right window to crawl through and found a round for G2. What can they do off the back of it, though? Jacob has the Max 7 up close, and Gratisfaction catches an op kill that's short, but Lucky trades it back at least.
Solid work to keep the manpower even. Jacob going to be up close with the Mag 7. So we saw Gage playing quite a bit yesterday. Very powerful position, of course, but you typically need someone watching your back, which is exactly what JKS is doing. If they do go in on this, you'd expect to see shocks coming up from mid. That's what could put a cat amongst the pigeons. Gonna be a flashbang. About to be tossed in. Will it be efficient enough? I don't think Renegades have a player actually looking through mid at this point, and that's why Shocks will be able to get up close. There's still 50 seconds. They may anticipate that this push will come in later.
Oh my goodness,
is not going to go look. Yeah, Shocks is in. He's going to get that first kill, and even though he goes down, it's allowed the rest of his team to now barrel out of here. JKS has picked up 2 kills somehow, though. done so much work by himself. They're going to be smoking off the door, trying to get the plant in. But here we go. Liaz is everything in this round. His flank through tunnels can be the difference maker. If they peek him, can Liaz get kills? If not, Gratisfaction can sneak in through the window and maybe snipe one of them in the back. This is where the smoke could be so deadly. He trades across to the AK-47. But Amanek will not miss his chance. Liaz now, can he be the hero? No. Does a chunk of damage to Kenny S, but G2 gonna get another round. 2 in a row now.
They did such a great job double facing each angle, not going to give any type of 1v1 opportunities to either side of that retake. Also, you just gotta praise Shox. The way he snuck out middle, he used the smoke on left-hand side and just sat inside of it. He never really moved. He didn't really give Renegades a chance if they were peeking to get an idea he was there. They were so focused on Catwalk instead. They had no one spawn. It's going to be a USP A bomb site stack here from Renegades. G2 just taking it slow. It's very likely they're going to bypass this, though, given the bomb's positioned in lower tunnels. I doubt that they're going to run across these USPs. And then, hell, Lucky might just hear them at some point stampeding at long if they push through. But they decide to kind of just fall back to site. But Lucky's still going to get greeted by one of them at least.
The rest may swarm as well. They're not that far away on long. Lucky doesn't want to get too antsy, overextend. It is the expendable weapon, though, of course. If he dies, no big deal. He can get an AK in the next one. E2. From our perspective, obviously, we know what's up against them. As far as they're concerned, this could even be a force. They are taking this really carefully.
Yeah, can't blame them for it. They know how important these rounds are. They're the ones trying to make the comeback. They know that they're the ones that have to gain ground, and indeed they will eventually go for the mid B play. They'll find it wide open for the taking. They'll secure the bomb plant, and this round will be in the books. So it'll be 9-11 in favor of G2. Now it's just about, can Lucky farm some cash with the MAC-10?
Yeah, that really is the only story left in this round to really discuss. Molotov onto Gratisfaction is going to burn him a little bit down to 81. They're going to stick together at least. At least the bulk of the CTs are. 4-player stack on Catwalk now. But whichever way you spin it, whichever way you look at it, G2 are now going to be 11-9 behind. Just 2 rounds shy. And the recent trend of how this map has been going is certainly favoured them. Lucky with a MAC-10. Going to get 1. That's all he can add to his account. And Shox will take down 2 players at the end. So here we go. They're going to retrieve a gun, drop one across to him, and they'll be good to go once more.
So, op carried over. Money being saved up by G2. They've won the last 3 in a row. They've had to do a good bit of rebuying for the first couple of rounds they won, but that round was pretty clean. Money going to be there for Renegades as well, though there is going to be no op potential other than, you know, I guess JKS could drop one. What's very likely is just going to be AUGs, which still, of course, very capable weapons. G2 on a little bit of a roll now, starting to really get comfortable in this half, starting to show us some great team play. Shox in particular making some really nice maneuvers. They have a really sick spawn for B, and they know that Renegades are probably going to be very low on utility, so I would not be surprised if they just decide to plow in.
We know that G2 aren't any stranger to aggressive plays either, but it's going to be Jacob that opens up round 21 in favor of Renegades. Molotov tossed into the site, but there's not really going to be much behind it. Amanek also smokes in. We're trying to keep them interested, but they're not really going to do anything behind that utility is the problem.
Yeah, I think that kill that Jacob got kind of scared them off of just pushing in. Now they know that they need to be a little bit more careful. There's also a cat set up here that could go aggressive any moment for Renegades. This could be a problem. G2 are definitely looking to attack into this. Who's going to win this duel? I feel like the round hinges on this exchange at Catwalk coming up.
Certainly a fair assessment. If it crumbles for Renegades, G2 have a Direct rush across to the site with only Liaz there to defend. Renegades can hold on. There's not much that G2 can do, already a player behind. A big moment in the round forthcoming. Amanek is going to keep them interested in mid as well. Try and throw out one of these players. And it's going pretty even so far. Now G2 starting to edge ahead. It's a 2-4 trade, and Amanek pushing through with 2 of his own. Jacob, last man standing on 46. We talked about the importance of that trade, and G2 blasted through Renegades.
Vince, that was so goddamn sick what Amanek just did. He knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew that if there was anyone cat and G2 challenged, that eventually they would have to fall down in the spawn, and he snuck in with the smoke and caught the drop down. That was so brilliant. Take a bow, Amanek. What a well-constructed round from G2. They've broke open the A-bomb site. That's going to be it. 10 for them. Jacob just trying to save a gun. Money is so low, even on the loss bonus. It's very likely that G2 will buy this thing up 11 all off the back of that play.
Jacob, like chill in long doors. G2's economy is in solid shape now. They could have gone for the frag, but they decided against it. Want to hold on to their AWP. They've also got an AUG, which can be very useful on the T side with the scope element, of course. It's rough for Renegades. They're actually not going to have anything really here other than the saved AUG and a scout purchased by Azza.
I mean, they're really the... Oh,
okay.
Oh, get out of the server, Azza. Man, he just got wrecked. That was nice. And then they try to go back and pick up the gun, but Shox is going to be aware of that, and he's waiting for just that moment. He's going to keep challenging. He does not want them to get that gun. That is so crazy what Jax just did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they were full board, force buying, doesn't matter. That headshot is going to cave you regardless. Not something you see too often on Dust2. It's typically AWPers that will have the fights, confrontations down mid, but it's a welcome change. Renegades didn't really invest too much into this.
T-side call's been great for G2, man. Still, that Amanek play gets me. That was just so well done, faking the mid B split, sneaking Amanek and spawn, and him knowing that he was going to catch people dropping off cats. Just those little mind games, those little team play aspects that get you so much, especially with G2 being behind, right? I mean, they were getting destroyed the bulk of this game. At one point, they were down 8-1. They had nothing on their CT side. They recovered nicely at the end, and now, though they lost a pistol, they have been on a roll here. This will be now 5 in a row on their T side. This round, they will have lost no one in the process. The last couple of rounds, they had only lost 2 players. So the money's starting to build up. I mean, if this war rages on, if we start maybe trading rounds back and forth, the bankroll of G2 is well more prepared for that than Renegades is. So Renegades are the ones that are going to have to be a lot more cautious on how things go. This is the moment where actually they might even have to take a couple of rounds where if they get shut out, they can't even really attempt retakes. Like, they want to really keep onto the gun. So that's something that's going to factor into their minds going forward if it comes to that.
AKS flicking up onto Jax. Excellent start. Renegades, who've been up against it these last 5 rounds to get the first kill, just to calm things down a little bit. Have got the first kill a couple times prior though, Dust, and still let the round slip away, so they can't rest on this. Good nade though. That's a money nade. Shox and Lucky both get smacked by it.
G2 are at least getting control of the stairwell, though, is up the catwalk. It's going to be Lucky and Shox trying to see if they can't pry their way into A. The problem is that there's a stout defense set up here. Gratisfaction still with the AWP to watch the cross. He's got Azza on the ramp as well. Sure that they can smoke their way and maybe get Molly onto the ramp itself from Lucky, but these counter incendiaries keep slowing G2 down. They eventually still want to ride it out to catwalk, but it's going to be so hard to get past all this unless their flashes are really on point and they blind Gratisfaction and force them back. What is this smoke Kenny S is lining up, I wonder? He ran all the way back of mid to throw another smoke.
Oh,
sure it fakes long corner. They try to bite them on long A doors. Okay.
Exactly. This is also going to keep Liaz from rotating to help his teammates out for a little bit longer, because he's still not sure if they're going to do a two-pronged attack, so it's stalling them out. Also, Gratisfaction moved away because of the flashbangs. They're going to line up, but Lucky takes 2 heads. 12 seconds left. Bomb plant imminent. G2 again managed to snake their way into a potential round-winning situation after losing the first player. 2 players going to be coming from Catwalk, going to get Molotov'd out. And Renegades with their economy, they have to save.
Yep, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is because their bankroll just isn't there. There would be forced in these situations if they conceded bomb sites, and so they will have to just draw back. That's 12-11 for G2. That's now 6 in a row for the Frenchman, keeping the 2-0 dream alive. Really nice little attack there on A. Again, KennyS with that 1 smoke buys at least a little bit of doubt into their opponent to help them have a little bit of an easier time getting out on the catwalk. Also, Shox takes the drop down. So when he drops, again, that means the CTs on ramp have to not only worry about the cat cross, which is hard enough. Not only do they have to still think maybe someone creeps out long A, but now you have Shox also coming out slowed. It's basically an artificial 3rd route added to the attack for the terrorists. Gives the CTs way more to be responsible for, and they are unable to handle it in that moment. So G2 take a lead for the first time this game, I think.
Yep, that's correct. Been trailing the whole time until now. Feels bad. The chat didn't see that 1-tap. Basically, Jax went from spawn and 1-tapped Azza in mid, as Azza tried to push up mid. That's what you meant. Yeah. Looks really crisp. Flashbang into mid. Shock's going to take control. Does give them a bit of information. No one's actually actively defending middle doors.
This gives them so much. If they can do this mid-B split, it's going to put a lot of stress on Jacob and JKS. JKS has the AWP, though. They should know that. He had an op shot earlier at middle, so they know that it's possible that he'll have that over on this side of the map. So Shox and Jax will look to stream up middle to B, the rest in tunnels. No assistance from CT spawn just yet, so it's all going to be down to JKS and Jacob.
Pretty free kill for JKS. Going to turn his attention into tunnels. It's another one. Jacob holds on firm. Shocks up from mid. Finds 2 of his own. Could be more on the cards. That smoke's going to clear. Couldn't quite see his peripheral vision. Unable to spot that Gratisfaction was on the prowl. Molotov in. Gratisfaction gets flashbanged. Was he thinking of pushing that Molotov? Maybe. It did take quite a bit of damage. He's down to 29 off the back of it. Aminex watching the tight angle. And there's Gratisfaction. Flicks across with his AK-47. And it's going to be a defuse. And it's the first round in 6 for the Renegades.
G2 just didn't have that B tunnels push come at the same time as Shox's mid push. So JKS on a swivel able to land the mid shot and just turn his attention to tunnels and grab that one as well. Ideally, you want to pinch so that they are forced to choose one side and they get shot from the other, but didn't happen there for G2. A nice attempt, but not quite. Renegades do finally put one through after losing 6 in a row. It was starting to get to dangerous territory, but they've held on. Again, though, G2 have so much funding left. Aminex and Shox in 5-digit territory. Lucky even after a full buy at 9,300. So they'll be buying for quite some time. I'll take a couple of more here. I am a bit surprised to see Jax pick up a MAC-10 when he could have been dropped a gun from a teammate. In fact, Aminex also gets a MAC-10 against a couple of players who are head armor. Maybe they think that a lot of CTs aren't going to have head armor, and they're actually right. 3 of them don't. And on a B-Tunnels rush, this could be good.
Yeah, this is just all about the rush, all about getting in the face of Renegades. They've already lost Aminex, who was one of the MAC-10 players. It does mean... Oh, JKS, never mind. I was going to say, it does mean it'll still be rough for Renegades to retake the site, but if they continue to land frags like that, there's going to be no one left standing for G2. 2 of their AK-47s still intact. Jax playing the close angle. Lucky going to pick up the AWP. Molotov out for the doors. Smoke going to be there to extinguish one and flash over. Jax takes the initiative, catches him off guard, and sprays 3 down. The big balls play from the Frenchman. Could yield them the round. Shox is the last man standing, though. He still has a huge task ahead of him. He's playing through the smoke, and he comes in massive as well. G2 steal a round away from Renegades. Oh, what a moment to do it.
Oh my goodness, you felt so bad for them because JKS just got so lucky with that second kill through the smoke with the op, and you thought, oh man, but G2 layered their utility so nicely on door and window. They never really had to worry about tunnels, or at least they were gambling they wouldn't have to. And then Jax just picked the perfect timing to push for 3 kills. That was sensational, but so was that from Eza. The headshot through the door on the Kineas, taking an offer down with the scout on a round where Renegades had very little to work with. They get a 5-on-4 right away. Shox will be able to grab the op back. Eza, though, I don't know if anyone's going to linger around to give Shox a chance to shoot at them.
We've been in this position before with Renegades, haven't we?
Yeah.
Tenacious bunch of players.
And now Eza has that scout on Goose, so if they come long, he still could take a long-range duel and perhaps even still get more out of this round. But Shox, definitely still a capable opper. Definitely could take that duel against Eza and likely win. He's got the more powerful weapon. That could unlock the A-bomb site because they could smoke the cross and just hope to kill any type of rotation.
They've guessed right, Renegades. They've banked on the right site. That's going for them. Lack of firepower, lack of nades, not so much. Time isn't going to be an issue either. They're pushing with 30 seconds left, and JKS has been vanquished off the site first. With his death, you'd assume the round will follow, but Liaz has a deagle trained on the site. He's landed 1 headshot already, spins around, nearly thinks his own teammate.
That was
Jacob's
questionable.
Jacob's like, bro, I'm on your team, dude. What are you doing?
Got a little trigger happy, got that first kill, is looking for another. Fair enough. That killer instinct was still settling in. They're going to keep trying to find kills here.
Mag 7 also picked up, but at this range, the AK-47 should have a field day. Bit of a whipped spray by Amanek, but gets there in the end. G2 take a 2-round lead, as we expected, and here we go. Another big test. Rifles on the horizon.
Yeah, really great utility uses there from G2. Good mollies on the side on top of the normal smokes across. Good flashes involved. Also mollied long so that they didn't have to worry about, and they could focus everything on platform. They weather the storm, but here is the really big one. Double op for Renegades. This is probably it for them. All their eggs are in this basket pretty much, Vince. They lose this, yeah, they'll buy what they can next round, but it won't be much. At least not as good as this one.
Yeah, unless they decide to tap out quickly if they concede a couple of players, but it is a heavy investment. They are trying to stand tall, Gratisfaction. Able to scurry away. This time, Amanek is not going to be the boogie man in CT spawn.
It's just a blind shot, Vince, and he happens to catch it. But how many times have Renegades lost a 5-on-4? They lost a 5-on-3 not that long ago to some MAC-10, so it's not a foregone conclusion that Renegades will be finding 13 off that one advantage. Look at Shox. He's crept in the CT spawn through Cat, but not to go A, but just to sit here and try to go B. The problem is his teammates are falling around him.
JKS using the AWP to devastatingly strong effect. Only 1 HP left. Amanek has made a move on to B side, but bombs down all his teammates around it. There's one. This would be an absolutely ridiculous one if he clutched, and JKS says no. Point blank with the AWP. Dispatches of him. Renegades back into the game.
Yeah, a little bit excited whenever you saw Shox get into spawn from Cat like that. You thought maybe he'd be able to cut off rotations that were drifting through spawn, and maybe his team could work out some type of mid to B play, but all for naught. Despite the fact Amanek did get into the B side, the bomb went down outside of it on the mid route. And so basically it's a do-over of last round. Everyone with basically the same guns and equipment. This time Gratisfaction's even more aggressive on Catwalk though, peeking all the way towards lower B tunnels before settling in here on the stairwell.
can feel the tension on the server. So close are G2. They can touch the finish line. They can touch the 2-0. Renegades, in the meanwhile, have their eyes set on that third map, but they've got to get it done here first. They can't look at the bigger picture. They've got to focus on the small details.
This one's gone a lot slower, Vince. No early picks this time. 5-on-5 into the mid-round. Shocks and Jacks again want to get control of Cat. This time, no Gratisfaction up close with the op. He's playing the cross instead. Mid-B is looking super likely at this point. 4 players perhaps going to be going middle here for G2. Or actually, just will be 3. Lucky will meet up with Amanek. It means JKS and Jacob again going to get challenged from multiple angles at once. They're going to have to balance all of it.
JKS not affected by the flashbang. Peeks one too many times. He felt compelled to because he knew they were about to get trapped in between a lot of terrorists. Jacob able to get one, and Asa also onto Shocks. Jackson, meanwhile, may be the player that has to do all of the heavy lifting because his teammate Amanek is down to 10. 15 seconds, got to hold on to this plant. In come Renegades through the doors. They're sitting here waiting for Amanek to move. But Amanek's gonna line him up, nearly gets both. Leah spins around like a turret and smacks down all of G2, eviscerates it, acquires the site in the 14th round for Renegades.
Oh, that was so close, man. You thought for a second the crossfire of G2 was gonna stuff that retake through the door, but instead Liaz able to pull it off. Absolutely brilliant stuff. It's all squared away now. Money's still there, though, for G2 to full buy, sure, but we're in a foot race at this point. What stands at the finish line for Renegades is a map 3, an opportunity to stick around to still have a shot at the playoffs. For G2, it's about ending this series earlier, not having to worry about a map 3, booking your ticket to the quarterfinals. It's a tense one, Vince. It was kind of one-sided at times for both teams, but now when it matters most, it's neck and neck.
Sure is, and Kenny S has gone off the boil. He's on 10 frags. He's the lowest frag on either side, and on a map like Dust2, you would never have thought that would be the case. They're missing one of their stars at G2 right now. There's JKS, Jacob, both doing just fine. Speaking of Jacob, Morg is going to be perforating skulls. G2, hot off the back of a timeout call, they've done nothing with it.
They just tried a faster version of the mid-B, trying to catch them off guard, but JKS has just managed it so well every time. This time it was mostly Jacob, but this mid-B has never worked, and I can't tell you how hard it is for JKS and Jacob to keep being successful by themselves, fending off B tunnels and the push out middle. They have just been on top of that. You would expect G2 to be trading their way and overwhelming them, but it just hasn't been the case. It's only really happened once for them. All their other successes typically have been skirmishing on catwalk and getting into the A-bomb site. So now Renegades will indeed go to map point, so it's either going to be overtime or a third map. But let's see what Shocks and Jats can do.
No health, no nades. No hope, potentially. Jax has the bomb. Oh, but he's stuck. There's no hope, and Gratisfaction flicks his head off anyway. Renegades have a map point. This would take us to a third map if they can convert.
It's looking that way, Vince. It's definitely what seems to be the writing on the wall is telling us. G2, though, still able to muster up a buy. They still have an AWP for Kenny S. They'll have a few other rifles out there with armor as well, so there is still some hope of pushing us into overtime. They've had a very successful T side the majority of the half. It's only been these last 6 or so rounds where the majority of them have gone the way of Renegades. They've won the last 3 in a row, in fact. Some of the rounds have been close. It's come down to 1v1s or 2v2s. So G2 might indeed still find extra rounds here, but they've got to make this one count. This is it.
A team comprised of Australia, New Zealand, and Norway on the brink of taking us to a third map. The Frenchmen, on the other hand, may have other thoughts. They try an aggressive mid-play in round 29. Do we have more aggression on the cards here? If we do, it's going to be through long, and it's going to have to be through a smoke that Liaz has just tossed down. So it seems like any aggression is going to be stalled a little while longer.
Shox is here at Cat alone. Might be dealing with Gratisfaction's AWP again. But as you noted, they're waiting for the smoke to try to attack into long. It's going to be on Liaz to Finn, and he's good for one.
That timing was off, though. The flash didn't detonate in time for the first player to get out there. So Liaz knew one player was there. He's obviously going to hold down the spray anyway. The Edge one big step forward towards map 3. G2 needs somebody to turn it up a few dials. Down to 29. Jack spins around with his Galil 1. Not a second kill forthcoming, but can trade out for the AUG. Now they're going to push. Flashbang in. Liaz out. He did get a kill before he dropped. Kenny S, 1 on 3, and JKS puts a bullet between his eyes. It was back and forth. It was anyone's map. But Renegades finished with 4 consecutive rounds, and we are heading to map number 3. This one's going the distance.
Indeed, it'll be decided on train as each team has stolen away each other's map picks in somewhat shocking fashion. Great game on Dust2. It came down to the final round to decide things, but Renegades do just hold on. All the boys out there are going to be happy to see that Renegades will have another chance, but G2 at least has the safety net from having won the first map. So this is Dust and Vince. We'll be back in just a bit to wrap up this lower bracket finals to see who will be going to the playoffs and who will be going home. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in a bit.